Hi, I'm Zoe. I'm 28 years old, and I need to share something that still keeps me up at night. Last Christmas, I thought I was joining my husband's loving family for the holidays. I was so wrong. What I discovered in that house changed everything I believed about the people I trusted most. This is the story of how a family holiday became my worst nightmare. 2 years ago, I married Jake. He seemed perfect, kind, funny, and incredibly close to his family. That should have been my first warning sign, but back then, I thought it was sweet. Jake would always talk about his family's Christmas traditions, how they'd gather at his childhood home, exchange gifts, and spend quality time together. He made it sound magical. As someone who grew up with a small family, I was excited to experience what I thought was a warm, loving family environment. His mother Helen would call every week, always asking about me, always seeming so interested in my life. His father Robert would send birthday cards with handwritten notes. His sister Jessica would text me funny memes and invite me to girls' nights. They seemed to genuinely care about me. Looking back, they were studying me. Jake and I had been married for about 18 months when the Christmas invitation came. Helen called personally, her voice warm and welcoming. "Zoe, dear, we absolutely must have you and Jake for Christmas this year. It's time you experienced a real family holiday with us." I was thrilled. Finally, I'd be part of their inner circle, their traditions. Jake seemed excited too, though I noticed he got a little quiet whenever I brought up specific plans for the trip. "Don't worry about anything," he'd say. "Just pack comfortable clothes and be yourself." My family loves you already, but there were small things that bothered me. When I'd ask about gift exchanges, Jake would give vague answers. When I offered to bring food or help with cooking, Helen would insist I was a guest and shouldn't worry about anything. "Just bring yourself, sweetheart. That's all we need." The week before we left, I noticed Jake on the phone more often, speaking in hushed tones. When I'd walk into the room, conversations would stop abruptly. He'd smile and give me a kiss, but something felt off. "Everything okay?" I'd ask. "Of course." Just coordinating travel plans with Mom. I trusted him. I trusted all of them. That was my mistake. We arrived at the family home on December 23rd. It was a beautiful old house, decorated perfectly for Christmas. Twinkling lights, garlands, the works. From the outside, it looked like something from a holiday movie. Helen greeted us at the door with tears in her eyes. "Oh, Zoe, I'm so happy you're finally here." She hugged me tightly, maybe a little too tightly. Robert shook my hand with both of his, holding on longer than necessary. "Welcome to the family, truly." Jessica bounded down the stairs like an excited teenager, though she was 32. "Zoe, I've been counting down the days." Their enthusiasm felt overwhelming, but I chalked it up to holiday excitement. I was determined to fit in, to be the daughter-in-law they deserved. The first evening went smoothly. We had dinner, shared stories, and I felt like I was beginning to understand Jake's family dynamics. But there were moments, quick glances between family members, conversations that stopped when I entered a room, inside jokes I wasn't part of. After dinner, Helen insisted on showing me photo albums, page after page of Jake's childhood, family vacations, birthdays. But I noticed something strange. There were gaps, missing photos, empty spaces where pictures had clearly been removed. "Oh, those?" Helen waved dismissively when I pointed it out. "Just old photos that didn't turn out well. You know how it is." That night in bed, I mentioned the missing photos to Jake. He rolled over, already half asleep. "Mom's always been picky about photo albums. Don't read into it." The second day, things got stranger. I woke up early and went to the kitchen for coffee. Helen and Robert were there, speaking in low voices over the morning paper. They stopped talking the moment they saw me. "Good morning, dear." Helen's voice was too bright, too forced. "Sleep well?" Throughout the day, I'd catch fragments of conversations. Robert on the phone in his study. "Yes, she's here now, exactly like we discussed." Jessica whispering to Jake, "Are you sure about the timing? What if she—" When I asked Jake what they were talking about, he'd shrug. "Probably Christmas surprise planning. You know how my family gets about presents." But it didn't feel like present planning. It felt secretive, calculated. That afternoon, Helen suggested I rest upstairs while she and Jessica prepared dinner. "You're our guest, sweetie. Let us spoil you." I went to our room but couldn't shake the feeling that I was being managed, kept away from something. On the third day, Christmas Eve, things escalated. I offered to help with breakfast, but Helen shooed me away. Go enjoy the morning, dear. Take a walk, read a book. Family time starts later. So I explored the house. It was beautiful, filled with antiques and family heirlooms. But certain rooms were locked. When I mentioned this to Jake, he seemed nervous. Dad's study and Mom's craft room. They keep them locked because of valuable stuff. Nothing interesting. But why hadn't anyone mentioned locked rooms before? That afternoon, while the family was busy with Christmas preparations I wasn't allowed to help with, I went upstairs to get something from our room. I heard voices coming from the locked study. I pressed my ear to the door. The paperwork is all ready. Robert's voice. We just need her signature tomorrow. What if she refuses? That was Jessica. She won't refuse. Helen's voice, confident. Not after everything we've done to make her feel welcome. She trusts us completely. And Jake's okay with this? Jessica again. Jake knows what's best for the family. He's always known. My blood ran cold. What paperwork? Why would they need my signature? And why did Jake know what's best for the family? I backed away from the door, my heart pounding. I needed to find Jake, to ask him directly what was going on. I found him in the basement, going through old boxes. When he saw me, he looked startled, almost guilty. Hey, what are you doing down here? I tried to keep my voice casual. Just looking for old Christmas decorations Mom wanted me to find. But the box he was holding wasn't full of decorations. I caught a glimpse of official-looking documents before he quickly closed it. Jake, what's really going on here? Your family is acting strange. There are locked rooms, hushed conversations. I feel like everyone knows something I don't. He set the box down and walked over to me, his expression serious. Zoey, I need you to trust me, okay? My family can be a little intense, but they mean well. They care about you. They care about us. That's not an answer. It's the only answer I can give you right now. Please, just trust me. Tomorrow, everything will make sense. Tomorrow. Why did everything hinge on tomorrow? That evening at dinner, the family's behavior reached new heights of strange. They kept toasting me, telling me how grateful they were that I was part of the family now. Helen got emotional, saying she'd never seen Jake so happy. You're exactly what this family needed, Robert said, raising his glass. Exactly what we've been waiting for. After dinner, I excused myself early, claiming tiredness. But I couldn't sleep. I lay in bed, listening to Jake breathe beside me, wondering what I'd gotten myself into. Around midnight, I heard footsteps in the hallway, voices downstairs. I slipped out of bed and crept to the top of the stairs. The family was gathered in the living room, Jake included. They were discussing something intensely, but I could only catch fragments. Tomorrow morning, before she's fully awake, Helen's voice. The documents are all ready. Robert. What if she suspects something? Jessica. She won't. Jake's voice, confident. She trusts me completely. She'll sign anything I ask her to sign. Sign anything? My hands started shaking. I crept back to bed, but I didn't sleep. I pretended to be asleep when Jake came back upstairs an hour later. My mind was racing, trying to piece together what I'd heard. What documents? What did they need my signature for? And why was my own husband part of this secret plan? Christmas morning started early. Too early. I woke up to Helen gently shaking my shoulder. Zoey, dear, wake up. We have a Christmas surprise for you. I glanced at the clock. 6 a.m. Jake was already gone from bed. Come downstairs, sweetie. Just put on your robe. The family's waiting. Something in her tone made my skin crawl, but I followed her downstairs. The family was gathered in the living room, but this wasn't the excited Christmas morning scene I'd expected. Their faces were serious, almost somber. Jake stood by the fireplace, holding an envelope. When he saw me, he couldn't quite meet my eyes. Zoey, Helen said, guiding me to a chair, we need to talk to you about something important. It's about your future, our family's future. Robert stepped forward with a briefcase. We've prepared some documents that need your signature. Important financial documents that will secure your place in this family. My heart started pounding. What kind of documents? Jake finally spoke up. Zoe, my family has always taken care of their own. When you married me, you became part of something bigger than just our marriage. You became part of our family's business. What business? Helen sat down across from me, her expression suddenly cold. Dear, your name, your credit, your background. It's exactly what we need for our family's financial ventures. Clean credit history, no criminal background, steady employment history. You're perfect for what we need. The room started spinning. What are you talking about? Robert opened the briefcase, revealing stacks of official documents. These are incorporation papers, loan applications, insurance forms, all requiring your signature as a primary account holder and business partner. But I never agreed to be in business with you. Jessica laughed, but it wasn't a kind laugh. Honey, you agreed the moment you married into this family. This is how we work. Everyone contributes. Jake stepped closer, his voice gentle but firm. Zoe, this is how my family has stayed financially secure for generations. We pool our resources. We use clean family members for business ventures, and everyone benefits. You'll benefit too. What if I say no? The room went silent. Helen's smile disappeared completely. Why would you say no? She asked, her voice ice cold. After everything we've done for you? After how we've welcomed you? After the love we've shown you? I looked at Jake, desperate for him to defend me, to tell them this was wrong. But he just stood there, holding those documents. Jake, you can't be serious about this. Zoe, my family has done this for years. It's not illegal, it's just business, smart business. You sign these papers, you become a partner in our investments, and we all prosper together. And if I refuse? Robert's voice was quiet but threatening. Well, that would be unfortunate. For everyone. The implications hung heavy in the air. This wasn't a request. This was a demand. And they'd brought me here, isolated me, gained my trust, all for this moment. I realized with crystal clarity that everything, every phone call from Helen, every birthday card from Robert, every text from Jessica, maybe even Jake's love for me, had been part of this plan. You've been planning this since we got married, haven't you? Helen nodded, not even pretending anymore. Since before you got married, actually. Jake told us all about you. Your credit score, your clean background, your trusting nature. Perfect for what we needed. I turned to Jake, tears streaming down my face. Did you ever actually love me? Or was I always just a target? He couldn't answer. That was answer enough. I stood up, my legs shaking. I need to use the bathroom. Helen started to object, but Robert nodded. Fine. But don't take too long. We have a lot to discuss. In the bathroom, I locked the door and called the only person I could think of. My sister. My hands were shaking so hard I could barely dial. Amy, I need help. I'm at Jake's family house and something's very wrong. Can you come get me? Please? While I waited for Amy, I had to face the family again. I went back downstairs and told them I needed time to think about the documents. There's nothing to think about, Helen said firmly. This is what families do for each other. Then I guess I'm not family. The mask finally came completely off. Robert stood up, his voice menacing. You're making a big mistake, Zoe. A very big mistake. The only mistake I made was trusting any of you. Jake finally found his voice. Zoe, please. Don't throw away our marriage over this. My family's offering you security, wealth. Why can't you see that? Because it's based on lies. Everything has been lies. When Amy arrived, the family tried to block me from leaving. Helen actually grabbed my arm. You can't just leave, dear. We've invested too much in you. But I was done being their investment. I left with Amy, taking only my personal belongings. The divorce papers were filed within a week. That was 6 months ago. I learned that Jake's family had done this before, targeted women with good credit and clean backgrounds for their financial schemes. I wasn't the first, and I probably won't be the last. Trust your instincts. When something feels wrong, it usually is. Family shouldn't feel like a trap. Love shouldn't come with hidden contracts. And sometimes the people closest to you are the ones planning to betray you most.